Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 155. I hope you're all doing well, despite the grim milestone on Thursday hitting 4 million COVID cases in the US. And again, that's already a couple days ago. Scary stuff. Even though most people are fine if they get it, there have been many, heartbreaking stories of people losing their older loved ones mostly, but sometimes not so old, relatives and friends. So at the risk of sounding preachy, please take care of yourself. Take some precautions out there if you're going into stores and restaurants and such. Hey, we have a stellar Tech It Out radio show planned for you this weekend. First up on the program, we're going to learn about a new soundbar from Sonos called the Arc and why it's cool. After all, you're likely watching a lot more TV these days at home during this crisis. And speaking of being at home, after our chat with Sonos, we're going to talk about working from home and tips to a more comfortable and ergonomic setup. LG will join us to talk about its UltraFine Ergo line of monitors. And again, generally speaking, how to create a healthier workspace in your home. And finally, have you thought about getting an e-bike? They're super popular, so we're going to hop on the line with the co-founder of VanMoof e-bikes to hear what they can do. All of this and more on this week's brand new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, which I'll tell you more about shortly, but let's kick off the show. The great thing about today's televisions is that they're so thin that you can hang them on a wall. The bad thing about today's TVs, especially when it comes to sound, is that they're so thin you can hang them on a wall. In other words, you're dealing with flat pancake-sized speakers inside of the TV. So how do you expect good sound to come from that? This is why a soundbar is a great idea today. But the question remains, which soundbar to invest in? So we're now going to learn about the Sonos Arc, which is new to the market. We've got Ryan Richards with us. He's the Director of Product Marketing at Sonos. Welcome to the show, Ryan. Good to chat with you.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Before we talk about the Sonos Arc, the product itself, please give us a bit of a refresher on what Sonos is all about and your family of products leading up to today.
Sure. So at Sonos, we make a whole range of smart audio products, speakers, and other audio components that really fill your home with all of the sound and content that you want, and also connect to all of the important music services, audiobooks, streaming services, other things, and all the places that people get sound content from today. So we make speakers that go in your kitchen, in your bedroom, really anywhere in your home. And then, of course, also the living room, which is what we're talking about today with the Arc. We actually started with TV home theater audio in 2012 with a product called the Sonos Playbar. And Playbar was really unique when we launched it. And even remains so today for a few things. First of all, it was one of the first home theater products that took a modular approach to home theater. So what I mean by that is you could buy just the soundbar, just the Playbar, install that with your TV, and then get great home theater sound just with a single soundbar.
Right. Or
you also have the option of adding a subwoofer and then adding optional surrounds too.
Right.
And this was pretty unique back then, and it still is today, and that's true in all of our home theater products. Also, simplicity was really important for us in home theater. A lot of audio components, they'll have like a lot of wires going everywhere, a lot of different connections. With Sonos, the connection to your internet and all of the sound online is wireless through Wi-Fi. And then the connection to your TV is just a single cable. So one cable connects to your TV, and then also our soundbar works with your existing remote. So there's no extra remote, no extra wires. With the Arc, we're really building on that legacy, but then also expanding it into new types of experiences based on what people are doing today in their homes with TV content.
So that's a good setup for what the Sonos Arc is all about. And it's spelled ARC, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us about it.
Arc is our new premium soundbar. It replaces the product I was just talking about, Playbar, and it really brings a new level of fidelity and dimension to home theater sound. It has support for Dolby Atmos, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a bit.
Yeah.
It works with multiple voice assistants, and it also, of course, connects not just to your television, but to the internet, and it streams all sound from not just your TV, but also online. So think services like Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, et cetera, and so many more that it connects to directly through the internet. And then not just that, but I should also say that Arc connects to the rest of our other Sonos products. So not only are you buying a soundbar when you're buying an Arc, but you are buying the option to expand your audio experience throughout your home and have all of those products work together. So, for example, at Sonos we call this the beer test. So you can take another Sonos speaker like our Sonos One and put that in the kitchen and then group that with your Arc and actually have your TV sound playing in the kitchen. We call that the beer test because you can go from the living room to the kitchen, grab a beer, then go back to the living room without missing anything.
That's a great phrase for that. Obviously, there's a few hallmarks to Sonos products, connectivity being one of them. But let's talk about the sound. That's another key differentiator, I would argue, between Sonos products and some of the other soundbars out there. Without getting too geeky, Ryan, what's under the hood of this Sonos Arc?
Under the hood, so Arc has this incredibly stealth, elongated form factor. It's long, it pairs really well with larger ultra-high-def TVs that people are putting in their homes nowadays. And in order to make that sound really good, but then still have that kind of like thin, long form factor that was really important to us, we actually had to really innovate on how we deliver sound in Arc. So inside Arc, there are 11 individual speaker components that we call drivers. 8 of those are what we call mid-woofers, and then 3 of those are tweeters that produce the high-end sound. 2 of those 8 drivers, they actually point upward. So in a normal speaker, the speakers point forward, the speaker elements that's towards the listener. And in Arc, we have 2 of those drivers actually pointing upward, and those deliver dimensionality of what I mentioned earlier, which is Dolby Atmos. So Dolby Atmos is a new home theater audio technology that we partnered with Dolby to include in Arc. And what it does is it really adds the dimensionality, spaciousness, depth to the sound experience that you get in your home. And it gives you this really unrivaled, unparalleled feeling of immersion. And the way that works is it has these 2 speaker drivers that fire sound upward, and then that sound bounces off of your ceiling, and then it goes back to you where you're sitting and listening. So there's a lot of like technical stuff that's happening in that whole process. But the end result is you're really feeling like you're inside the content that you're watching.
Okay, cool. 11 drivers, certainly impressive. And you mentioned Dolby Atmos support earlier. So maybe you can spend a moment on why that's important for audiophiles.
Sure. So when we were looking at bringing a new premium soundbar to market, we really looked at what people were watching, the important content that was out there. What we really saw is people are streaming, services like Netflix, Amazon, and now, new ones like Disney Plus.
Right.
And more, these services are producing their content, especially their self-made content. They're filming it and streaming it in 4K, and they're mixing the sound in this new format called Dolby Atmos. In order to really deliver kind of like a top-of-the-end experience for these shows that we're all watching, Dolby Atmos is a part of that, definitely a premium part of it. But given that we really wanted Arc to sort of set a standard for immersive cinematic home theater, we thought it was really important that we could do that.
We're chatting with Ryan Richards, Director of Product Marketing at Sonos. We're learning about the new Sonos Arc soundbar, not just for TV viewing or movies, sports and video games, but also for your music. Tell us about the connectivity options with the Arc and how to control it with your voice. So you mentioned Alexa and Google support. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So first of all, as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that's really important to us at Sonos is that our products are easy to use. If something sounds incredible, but it's difficult to set it up or it's difficult to use it or get that incredible sound, Arc, the setup is extremely simple. There's 2 connections on the back. There's a power cable, of course, you need that, and a HDMI eARC port. eARC stands for Enhanced Audio Return Channel. And then that single HDMI cable connects to your TV. And that connection supports enhanced audio return channel TVs, any TV with HDMI audio return channel port. And then also we ship in the box a HDMI to optical adapter. So any TV with an optical port can also work. So between those connectivity options, it'll pretty much connect it to any TV.
Okay.
And then, as you mentioned, it does work with both Amazon Alexa or the Google Assistant. So you have your choice. You can install either voice assistant on the Arc and then control Arc with your voice. And then, of course, do all the other things that those voice assistants do. And then Arc connects also to your Wi-Fi. So not only do you have all of the content that you stream from your TV, but then through our Sonos app, you can connect to any sort of music services or other things that you use, like Spotify account, Apple Music account, and a host of other audiobook, podcasts, and content services.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. And as we wrap up, let's talk about how much the Sonos Arc costs and where we could buy it.
Sure. So the Sonos Arc costs $799 USD. I would suggest if you want to learn more about it, please go to our website, sonos.com. You can also purchase on sonos.com. And if you're interested in, well, of course, nowadays, I don't know if you can actually see it in a retailer. It is also, of course, sold at retailers across the U.S.
Okay. Ryan, thank you so much for your time. Ryan Richards, Director of Product Marketing at Sonos. I can't wait to hear the Arc for myself. Just before I let you go, there's 2 color choices as well, right? Is it black and white?
That's right. There's white and there's black. And then I should also, of course, mention, I neglected to mention that it is optionally wall mountable too. So if you have your TV wall mounted, you can also wall mount your Sonos Arc.
Sweet. Thanks again, Ryan. All the best. Have a great rest of your summer. Appreciate your time. Stay healthy.
Thanks. You too, Mark.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by Asus. For those in search of incredible, Asus creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much, much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. They also make some awesome gaming gear from the ROG or Republic of Gamers brand, and you can also learn more at asus.com. Now that many of us are working or schooling from home, and perhaps gaming more too as an effective stress reliever, perhaps it's time to invest in a bigger and better monitor for your desktop or laptop computer. And I say better, not just in resolution or brightness or in smoothness when playing video games, but also when it comes to comfort and better ergonomics to reduce things like eye strain and neck strain. So, joining us on the line to tell us all about LG's UltraFine Ergo monitor, we've got Adam Belzicki with us. He is the Senior Sales Manager for IT at LG. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Thanks. Before we talk about the LG UltraFine Ergo monitor, many of us are now forced to work from home, understandably. And of course, there's a greater importance of having a comfortable and productive home office. What are some of your tips to creating a great workspace at home?
Yeah, great question. For me, environment is everything. So having a quiet space in the house that's away from distractions, someplace where I can keep my headspace and concentrate on work. I've worked from home for many years, and I found that consistency is also really important. So if you can, having a dedicated space in the home that's set up with your computer and your monitor, so when it's time to get to work, you're ready to go. And lastly, and I think this is often overlooked, is around ergonomics. I think when this started, people had a tendency to work from anywhere, for example, their kitchen table. But as things went on, it was important to have something comfortable. We know that through ergonomics, work is safer and more efficient. And one thing that's really helped me is being able to use our new ergonomic monitor.
All right, so we often hear about ergonomics when it comes to things like using a mouse, like to reduce repetitive stress injuries like carpal tunnel and all that kind of stuff. But having a monitor that's ergonomic is important for a few reasons. So why don't we talk about the UltraFine Ergo from LG?
What we've done with the UltraFine Ergo is we've taken one of our ultra high definition 4K displays, and instead of putting it on a traditional stand that sits on the desk, we've mounted it to an arm that has a clamp that clamps directly to the desktop. And what that enables you to do is move the monitor in any direction you wish. It's fully customizable to you. And I think for me, what's also great is it has USB Type-C on it. So when I put my notebook down, it's one cable to plug in to power the monitor. and it also charges my notebook. And if you have a current PC, MacBook, or iPad Pro, you're going to be able to benefit from that as well. Not to mention, all the cables fit nicely in the back, so you have a clean, minimalistic desktop.
All right, and hopefully you've got an LG Gram notebook, which is pretty sweet. So that's a great sort of high-level look at the UltraFine Ergo monitor. What sizes do they come in?
We've got a 27-inch and a 32-inch.
Wow, massive for work and play. So I was asking earlier about why an ergonomically designed monitor is important. We often associate ergonomics with using tech with our hands, but if your monitor isn't placed properly on your desk, you may be, causing some neck strain or eye strain or headaches and things like that. Can you talk to us a little bit about why a monitor is important when it comes to how you interface with your tech?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people I talk to, they're telling me that they're slouching. They may not have a monitor at all, so they're looking at a small laptop screen. What this enables you to do is get the monitor at eye level, which is where it's supposed to be from an ergonomic perspective. Right. And as you work, if you need to tilt it or pivot it, it really goes with you as you work throughout the day.
Right. And if I may also add that not only is it important to make sure the monitor is at eye level and have adequate lighting in your space as well, but not to place the monitor off to the side of your desk or table that you're working at. You definitely want to have it straight on, because a lot of people, and I've seen this with some of my friends, where they are turning their neck even slightly off to the side to look at a monitor. So you definitely want to position it so that you're facing it straight on. So just some food for thought there. We are chatting with Adam Belzicki. He is a senior sales manager for IT at LG. We are talking about the UltraFine Ergo monitor, especially as we're now working from home. Apart from the innovative design, Adam, what are some of the other features that will make this monitor a must-have for anyone looking to upgrade their home office?
Yeah, so the UltraFine Ergo uses our latest IPS displays, which gives you really wide viewing angles. So if you're suffering with eye fatigue, this is going to help you with eye comfort. We've got really great image quality. So if from a creative perspective, this is a great monitor with 4K resolution. For photographers, designers, videographers, this is going to give the color reproduction and quality that they need for their work. And what I really love about it is I like a nice clean desk, and this moves the monitor up off the desk, so I have more real estate that I can work with on my desktop. It's nice and keeps it nice and tidy.
All right. And then finally, Adam, how much does the LG UltraFine Ergo monitor cost, and where can we learn more about it?
Yeah, for more information on the UltraFine Ergo, you can find pricing and more information at lg.com.
And it starts at $450 for the 27-inch model. All right, Adam Belzicki, thank you so much for your time. I hope you're having a great summer so far, and thanks for spending some time with us today to tell us about this Ergo monitor.
Thanks, Mark. Be well.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. I often ask listeners to tell me what they'd like me to cover more on this program, and this summer I received a few requests to learn more about e-bikes, and I haven't yet explored this topic. So I'm excited to interview our next guest, Taco Carlier. He is the CEO of VanMoof, based in Amsterdam, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the show, Taco.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's right. I'm from Amsterdam, capital of the Netherlands.
It's a beautiful city. So thanks for carving out some time to chat today. Before we talk about VanMoof's products, your e-bikes, tell us about the company VanMoof.
So I founded the company 11 years ago together with my brother. And the mission of the company is to get as much people on bikes in San Francisco, New York, Paris, London, and Tokyo, as we have in our hometown of Amsterdam. And we do so by producing high-tech, high-quality, but still yet affordable e-bikes, because we believe that's necessary to get the next billion people on bikes. Actually, the company started on a business trip in New York. This is about 14, 15 years ago. We were on a business trip in New York, and we rented some bikes to explore the city. And we found out that it is such a beautiful city for cycling. And we didn't see many bikes on the roads back then. So that was the moment, being industrial design engineers. That's the moment when we started thinking, what can we do to combine the Dutch cycling culture with modern technology in order to get more people on bikes? So that's the story of VanMoof.
Oh, great. And where does the name come from, VanMoof?
Yeah, it's move comes from movement. We didn't want to start a company. We wanted to start a movement to get the next billion on bikes, and we put van in front of it because as a short wink to our Dutch heritage.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
And of course, movement is double meaning with, moving on a bike. So love it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Before I ask you to clarify what a smart or e-bike is, I believe you're considered one of the fastest growing e-bike companies in the world. Can you quantify that?
Yeah, it's crazy right now. So since we launched our newest e-bike, the S3 and the X3 in April, we've sold over 20,000 of them, and that's 20% above the target for this year already. And in terms of revenue, the company has quadrupled. I think you call it four times.
Yeah, that's right.
The revenue quadrupled from 10 million in 2018 to nearly $40 million in 2019, and we're now on target to get to the 100 million. So it's growing really fast, but the entire industry of e-bikes is growing very, very fast. And I believe we're at the beginning of a revolution. E-bikes will completely change cities all around the globe. In Amsterdam now, almost 50% of all commutes is on a bike.
Oh, wow.
But that's easy because Amsterdam is pretty small, it's very flat, and the climate is very bike friendly. But if you want to commute on a bike in San Francisco or New York, it's much, much harder. And e-bikes solve that. They flatten hills, they shrink cities, and they prevent any sweating. And therefore, they will dramatically increase the amount of cyclists because of e-bikes, cycling becomes the most fun, healthy, fastest, and most affordable way to get around town.
Despite all these advantages, I understand your company created a bit of controversy. You were quoted as being responsible for creating a climate of anxiety. Tell us about being banned from French TV with your latest commercial.
Yeah, that was actually our first commercial. It was on air in the Netherlands and Germany, and we also wanted to broadcast it in France. But then, so it's an ad with a car. It starts with a beautiful sports car that melts into into oil, as some sort of oil substance, and then it's reborn as a VanMoof e-bike. So for us, it was really a call to action and a chance to leave the past behind, make real progress that benefits everyone. But then the French advertising regulator banned the commercial, demanded from us that we would change the commercial, which we didn't want to, obviously. So we did some digging. We found out that there were a lot of people from the car industry in the French advertising agency. We wrote a blog post about it, and that got viral. So in the end, it was a win for us. But it's still weird that car companies were able to make this for 50 years, make these commercials filled with lies about advantages of cars, and then the first company that's telling the truth gets banned.
I guess the PSA group is too powerful.
Could be, but it's not about France. I think the entire car industry is really powerful and really profitable compared to the cycling industry. So we will see more competition there in the future. I'm sure of that.
Without further ado, let's explain what a smart bike or an e-bike is all about. And are those two words synonymous?
No, not exactly. So let me start with an e-bike. An e-bike is a regular bike with a battery and a motor on it. So it increases your range. It's easier to ride uphill, and it prevents you from any sweating. So that's what an e-bike is, or an electric bike.
So it pedals for you or assists you?
Yeah, no, it assists you. So what it does, so if you just cycle and then the motor assists up to 80%, depending on what level you put it. So that's an e-bike or electric bike or pedelec. And smart e-bike is a smart bike is a bike that has fully integrated technology and is connected to your phone. So, for example, if, at the VanMoof, we have an anti-theft system built in, connected to your phone. We can track your bike if it's stolen, but you also can control the lights, the bell, and even the gear settings remotely via your smartphone app.
That's pretty cool. When we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue learning about the VanMoof line of e-bikes. Hang tight. You're listening to Tech It Out. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with Taco Carlier, CEO of VanMoof, a company that has created very successful e-bikes. Before the break, Taco, you were talking about some of the features of the e-bikes and what a smart e-bike is with smartphone integration and so on. Are those features available in the VanMoof S3 and the X3? Can you talk to us about these two e-bikes you've got?
Yeah, so the S3 and X3 are our most recent models. We just launched them in April. It are also our most advanced e-bike ever, and it's taken us 10 years of innovation to get to this point. Everything on the bike is customized. So we design, build, and manufacture the entire bike ourselves. It has a more powerful, near silent motor. It has a crazy cool turbo boost button for instant acceleration, automatic electronic 4-gear shifting, integrated hydraulic brakes, and a keyless integrated kick lock.
Oh, okay. That's pretty impressive. How do these models stand up against other companies' e-bikes? Are you going above and beyond in the feature set, or is it more of a value proposition?
No, I think it's both. We only sell direct, so we have our brand stores across the globe, but we sell 90% of the bikes online. But basically, our bikes are of the highest quality and the highest, with the most tech features, integrated features. So for the most accessible, affordable price range.
Okay, so it would be remiss if I didn't challenge you on some of the drawbacks of bikes and e-bikes. One big one for me with a family of 5 is that it's not easy to transport several people over a distance and pick up things like groceries and all that. So would you say it augments a family car, or do you firmly believe it could replace it?
I think it augments a family car. I don't believe in the near future we will get completely rid of cars. Definitely not. But I think for within cities, e-bikes are just the fastest, most fun, most affordable way to get around. Yeah, some people have kids have a lot of cargo to carry. There are beautiful electric cargo bikes for that too. We don't have them yet. Who knows in the future? But so it's that's not an issue. I just believe that for commuting within cities, bikes are the solution of the future.
And, even with that, if you live in a city, instead of driving to and from the office every day, where I live, it's a 42-minute commute each way. So that's a lot of time on the roads. It's a lot of pollution in the air. So even if you just drive on the weekends recreationally with your family, to drive to go to a picnic or something like that, but you took your e-bike to and from work, and because you're not sweating, you may not mind, if you are even working at an office these days, at least you're cutting down on how much time you're in the vehicle.
Yeah, definitely. And but this is all about, we focus on commuting within cities. So this is about people who live in Brooklyn and commute to Manhattan, or people who work in downtown San Francisco but live close to the city around it. This is about commutes from 5 to 15 miles, commutes that people nowadays do by car, but can be replaced by e-bikes, and adding a lot of value over there.
Not to mention, during the COVID-19 pandemic, fewer people want to take public transit.
Exactly. That's completely changed everything. I mean, it has become much more relevant right now. And we saw. We expected the growth of e-bikes to come in the next 10 years, and suddenly, because of COVID, it's now all happening in 3 to 6 months. So people are forced out of their daily routines, for instance, public transport, onto e-bikes.
Before we wrap up and talk about where to buy your bikes and where we can learn more, I'm sure there's a website you could recommend. How much do the VanMoof S3 and X3 cost? As you mentioned earlier, one of your long-term goals is to fully democratize cycling. So obviously price is a competitive advantage. So how much are we talking in US dollars for your e-bikes to start?
Yeah, they start at $1,998 US, so just below $2,000. It's a big investment for a bike, but if you compare that to the alternative ways of transport, I think e-biking, cycling in general, is by far the most affordable way of commuting.
And how much do other e-bikes cost? I don't know this space too well.
It starts at, let's say, $1,200 US, and it goes up to $12,000 US.
That $2,000 price tag to start, is that for the S3?
Yeah, so we only have two models. It's the S and the X3, and both are just below $2,000.
When we return, we're going to wrap up with VanMoof, hear a bit more about an option to have the company help you find a stolen bike, should that happen. Taco talked a bit earlier about these technologies like GPS that are in there, but there's cellular connectivity and more. So we're going to hear about that when we return and then wrap things up. You are listening to Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS, the company that creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops like the ZenBook, the VivoBook, the ExpertBook, and their Chromebooks. You can learn more at asus.com/US/radio. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're wrapping up with Taco from VanMoof e-bikes. You were telling us just before the break, Taco, that your electric bikes, your smart e-bikes, start at about $2,000. And then there was this optional part where if you pay a little bit more, you get a service. Can you tell us a bit about that?
For just $300 more, you have 3 years of peace of mind guarantee. And that means that if your bike is stolen, our global team of bike hunters have 2 weeks to retrieve your stolen bike. If they can't find it, you'll get a new bike. So it has integrated alarm systems, integrated 3G connection for tracking. So our bike hunters will always be able to get your bike back.
Do you work with the authorities on that? I would assume it's not safe to try to pursue a stolen bike on your own.
No, so what we do is we retrieve the bikes, we get into visual contact with the bike, and we have multiple systems for that. And when So when we found the bike, then we call the police to retrieve. And sometimes we find the thief riding on a stolen bike, and then we just follow it from a distance and call the police. And the police in the US is always very willing to help. They much better than in Europe, I have to say. They love the system, they love the bikes, and they're always helping us out.
All right, fantastic. And then finally, the best website to learn more and to order a VanMoof e-bike.
Yeah, so we have brand stores in New York and San Francisco, and we are opening another brand store in Seattle next month. And people can go to VanMoof.com, that's VanMoof.com, for everything they need to know.
All right, VanMoof.com. That's VanMoof.com. Taco, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, and have a great day.
Well, there you go. Didn't know much about e-bikes. Not sure about you, but I enjoyed that chat. And my sister rides one. But even though there's a tech element, it's one of those topics I just didn't know much about. So I'm glad that I booked that interview. I hope you liked it as well. Also, this hour, we spoke with Sonos about its Arc soundbar and what makes it stand out. And LG to talk about creating a safe and ergonomically sound workspace in your home. We talked about its LG UltraFine Ergo monitor as well. Another great piece of gear you may want in your home office, and less to do about ergonomics and more just about practicality, is an external hard drive. I always use a Western Digital hard drive to back up all of my important information before it's too late. You know, I always get these frantic emails from people where after their laptop was stolen or it's broken or they lost it, they are in a panic and they never backed up anything. So you need to be proactive about it. You want to preemptively back up your important files on a regular basis just in case of fire, flood, theft, power surge, some sort of hard drive malfunction. You can get a cyber attack, some sort of malware. So any number of things can happen to your laptop. So definitely back up your files on a regular basis. You can get like a 5 terabyte hard drive for like $100 and something now. So that's a lot of space. That's 5,000 gigabytes of storage. And I also like having something offline. I mean, there is benefits to cloud computing. I like storing files that I can access from virtually any device anywhere in the world. But there is something to be said if you lose your internet connection that you've got a physical copy of that hard drive, and some of them are password protected and all that. So check out Western Digital's drives at WD.com, as well as their SSDs, solid state drives, and their sister products, the SanDisk USB drives and memory cards and things like that. This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS, as I've mentioned before. They are a company that is in search of incredible. They create technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, and that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Hey, if you're on social media, and chances are you are, then feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. I write a tech tip of the day. It's almost every day. And sometimes there's a video with it. Other times it's just a quick little tip or trick, something to get more out of your tech without needing a Geek to English dictionary to follow along. Some sort of useful bit of advice, a little tech hack, if you will. So if you like that kind of thing, then feel free to follow me on Twitter. I'm at Mark_Saltzman. So Mark with a C, SALTZMAN, and on Instagram and on Facebook and all that, it's just Mark Saltzman, one word. So forward to meeting you on social media. And if you have any suggestions on what you want to hear more of on Tech It Out, you can tell me what kind of upcoming guests or topics you'd like me to tackle. Anything you like or don't like with the program, I'm all ears. So you can hit me up publicly by writing to me on social, or you can DM me, you can direct message me once we follow each other on social media. So I look forward to seeing you there. I'm wishing you a happy and healthy week ahead. I'm excited for you to hear the interviews I've already recorded, and I've got a few more slated for next week. So next weekend, we're going to reconnect right here on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.